Hi gang, welcome back to the Honest Latina Ever. Today's topic, I'm going to stray from my normal stuff. I'm going to be talking about foreign affairs. I normally stay out of this area because I know nothing about this area. I really, I just leave the war stuff to the guys, the FBI, the Homeland Security, all that stuff, unless it's pertaining to immigration. And I'm pretty strong in that area because I served on a board and I was an activist with Oregonians for immigration reform for about a year and a half. And so I'm just kind of on that one topic mode, that immigration. But today, I just couldn't help it. I was watching Fox News this morning and they were talking about that Mr. Mueller. His name should be Mr. Mueller because he's kind of like a freaking stubborn mule. If I was Mr. Trump, I would give this Mueller guy 48 hours to come up with some stuff, because I really feel like after the investigation fell flat on the Russian collusion, he goes in and he breaks into the law office of Mr. Trump's attorney over a prostitute investigation, which is going to yield nothing more than what they talked about. But this is a lawsuit in happening, and he jumped the gun and did something that what I thought was just really inappropriate and unethical, and it violates our constitutional rights because this is not even being proved in the court of law, and he's already just going in there just to do some shit. So I really think he overstepped. I think he's a danger to our society. I was coming up with some new acronyms for the FBI, and my latest one was I fully bullshitted investigation. That was just too common, so I decided to go with something a little bit better. Fraudulent bullshitted imagination. So that is what I think about Mr. Mueller. I told somebody on Twitter today, he's like the dingleberry that was stuck to Mr. Trump's ass. He just will not go away no matter how much you just want to pry him off. He's just on there, and it's like, if Mr. Trump was eating a ham sandwich and he just thought that ham sandwich wasn't paid for, or he got it from somewhere that he shouldn't have got it, or whatever, or maybe he just didn't like the meat in the sandwich, he might go and stir up trouble over that. But here we had Hillary Clinton in office, and this girl was selling stuff to was she selling uranium to other foreign countries? Her Clinton organization was stifling the money. She bleach-bit emails. God, if Trump was Hillary, he'd be in jail for a very long time. Trump just can't even open up his mouth to say anything without somebody trying to discredit him. In fact, I'm just really appalled because I have a learning disability, so that's why sometimes I jumble up my information. But they had Jimmy Kimmel, the biggest idiot on this planet. I don't even know why they call him a comedian. He's stupid. Anyway, they had him talk about Melania Trump, and I think that he doesn't have that much material, and he's not funny, so he thinks that he has to come up with stuff for his stupid leftist audience, and make fun of the First Lady reading with little kids because of her accent. I try to learn 5 languages and see how you sound, Jimmy. I bet you can't sound even remotely as intelligent as she does in another language. So I get really pissed off when I see men putting women down like this, and you're supposed to be part of a liberal movement. I call the left, one big bowel movement, because they are. When I was with Oregonians for immigration reform, I helped pass legislation. It was to put a stop to the DREAM Act. And the reason I did that was because the in-state tuition was 3 times the amount for somebody that was an American citizen that was of minority heritage. Didn't matter, what state they came from, and even if they were born here, they would have to pay 3 times as much for somebody that was coming from out of the country paying absolutely nothing. And I'm thinking, this is really not fair. It took me 20 years to get my degree, not because I was stupid, it's because I couldn't afford it. And this Latina pride had too much pride to ask for help from the federal government. So I did it all on my own, and I was just a few credits shy from graduating. My testimony made the evening news, and of course it did. But days later, after my mom passed away suddenly and all that stuff, I came back from all that crap and dealing with family and bullshit issues, you know, involving her funeral. It shouldn't have been that way, but, you know, we had people that thought they had right to my mom's things, even though, you know, I was the next in line. And look, it really doesn't matter because it's just shit. But anyway, I come back from that stress, and I come back and I'm asked to go up to the Capitol. And it was a Tea Party rally day. And some guy says, you know, I don't like what you're doing. You know, something's going to happen to you and your little girl if you don't stop. And just an hour later, something did happen. A car just sails into my lane at going 75 miles an hour. I never had an accident a day in my life. And then all of a sudden, after that threat, shit happens. But you know what? Like I said, I wasn't a prostitute like Stormy. I was an activist. And I was doing right by the American people and by my country. I was ostracized for it. I was... you know, I had death threats, you know, against my life. I had people that didn't like me, calling me a bigot, you know, because I was a Hispanic woman speaking out against the border. You know, I was doing a lot of things because in my heart, I felt like it was really for the benefit of the whole group, you know, and very few people like myself really authentically and genuinely put themselves out. Because I didn't get paid for what I did. I didn't get a dime for what I did. And all I got was a bunch of scapegoating and grief. So anyway, I get really pissed off when I see people that are talking about shit they absolutely know nothing about. And people that are getting away with stuff, you know, because I never really understood the whole non-profit organizations, but the Clinton administration shouldn't be having any Clinton organizations or non-profits. I mean, these people had taken so much money from the American people and squandered it on things that were not even remotely what they did for Haiti. I mean, how much of that money actually went back into Haiti? You know, very, very little. And so it is about time we start getting behind our president and supporting him, because if we don't, we're not going to have a country left, and that's just a fact. We have some serious issues and serious threats going towards our nation. His focus shouldn't be on some fucking little pissant FBI guy named Mueller, you know, investigating ham sandwiches. It should be, you know, us talking about real issues, like people being poisoned. You know, God knows who poisoned them. But, you know, people being poisoned in other countries, that's a big issue. Because if it happened there, it could happen here. You know, we need to really address the homeland security. We need to get that wall up. We need to deal with immigration. We need to deal with the things that we put on the back burner for the last 20 fucking years and get some work done. Not being, you know, pissing around about like some fucking prostitute from somebody's past. You know, I mean, people make mistakes. I mean, that's one error of his judgment that he made, because she wasn't even a pretty prostitute. She was a fucking white trash, you know, big balloon tit bimbo with no brains up here, because if she had any brains, she would have taken that money and she would have tripled it or quadrupled it or whatever. But no, she pissed it away. What did she do? Buy bigger boobs? You know, buy a few more like Prada Gucci dresses or whatever? I mean, you could live really good off 130. I know I could live off that money. Trump, you cut me a check and I will make that money grow. Anyway, and go. But you know what? She takes the money and then, like, you know, she puts it back into like, oh God, poor me, get an attorney, I need more, you know, because this woman is this pathetic. So I don't think she should get a dime. I think Mueller needs to be fired, and if it was my way, it would be just no nonsense and very easy, 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 easy. I'm sure that most Americans agree with me, and if you do, please forward this on, pass it along, and like it. Have a great day.